I remember my sophomore year when we were doing homecoming court. I was a princess, and so they put all the homecoming court against each other and asked us questions, and every time our team got a question wrong, there was another gross ingredient added to a drink.
That's really fun.
We're kind of it's to show that kids can be competitive with each other.
And still have fun.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Class.
He was a yapper.
He was. He talked a lot, and then if we got him off topic on the right topic, we would spend all class just talking about that.
So my major is in English education actually. So I know a lot about I know a lot of Japanese English education system, probably more than anybody else in here. But so I'm just super curious about how you guys being grown up.
How we learn English?
Yeah, how you guys learning English itself. And I think there are lots of things to talk about that. And then I've heard about that from Leah, but that's not too much. So
teachers here, we have more of a creative writing. So, and a lot of the essays that we write are about at least my senior year when I had Mr. Ferguson as my English teacher. It was for a lot of political views.
Political?
One thing that we had to write about was when Roe versus Wade was happening.
Oh, yeah, we had to do that too.
We had to pick a side and write 2, 3 pages, 4 pages worth of why we picked that side.
Wow.
So there's a lot of writing, but it's more opinionated. I don't know how it is in Japan, but I know here it's
it's a very opinion based essay. For mine, we had to write our essay and then have a debate on it versus who's pro, who's con.
That's the same things that I felt when I was living in Vancouver.
We also watched the entire Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
I did that anyway.
Can you elaborate more detail about that?
And then we had to write about that too. But
do you know who Johnny Depp is?
Yeah, of course I know who he is. But
so he was married to this woman.
So how exactly is related to the English education?
So we just basically wrote about our thoughts about it, about the whole court case, what was going on, who thought who was in the wrong.
Okay. Wow. So you guys more kind of into it does make sense. So you guys more doing essay writing and essay about
we did lots of essays.
Something going on in the US and some other countries.
In 8th grade, we had 1 essay a week, which was insane to me. I am not very good.
You don't like that?
English studies.
So,
her, on the other hand, she's a great writer.
Another thing that Mr. Ferguson would do for us is if there was a movie and a book, a book and a movie that was the same thing, or close to the same thing, we'd watch the movie and then we'd read the book and then we'd have to write about it, or we'd read the book and then watch the movie and kind of decide how they're similar, how they're not similar, what we think was better. One specific one was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh,
have you seen that movie?
No, I've heard of it though.
Have you read the book?
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Yeah. So basically, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is about a criminal. I forgot what his name is, but he's a criminal that's been getting away with stuff for a long time. Well, they finally caught him, and when he was going on trial, he said he settled for insane. So he was trying to pass off as insane, so he wouldn't have to go to prison.
There's a squirrel peeking over the rock. Sorry.
Where?
Well.
I found him.
they kind of caught on that he wasn't insane, but they feel like it would be worse for him anyways than it would be in prison, so they passed him off as insane so he got to see what a sane asylum life is like. So there he got sent to an insane asylum for like 9 months, and then he was going to get transferred to prison or something. Like if he didn't prove himself to actually be insane in 9 months, then he was going to end up in prison or something like that. But basically he's this perfectly fine dude with all these like people with like disabilities or like mental I don't know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Mental disabilities. And so he had to experience what it was like. So that's basically what it is.
Has this been in charge of to the one teacher? You know what I mean? Like same teacher?
Yeah, same teacher. So Mr. Ferguson.
Oh.
Who also? He's a great guy. He's got lots of stories.
You know him?
He taught my older brother.
Oh.
And sister.
That's right.
But I didn't get him as a teacher.
Personally, my favorite teacher.
Okay, that's nice actually.
Which is why I keep bringing him up. Yeah.
So what he's been doing is just putting some like activities on like movies and books and stuff, especially on writing, right?
Yeah. Well, now that things aren't so as strict as they used to be like 50 years ago, you know, you're allowed to like show movies and then read the book in class. Like it's okay. Like.
Oh, that's how different we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm not like a history pro, but I don't know if they were like watching movies in class in like 1970 or whatever.
No.
Like actual movies. I mean, they probably watched like.
Do you remember what your most like favorite English classroom was? So like English, like you know, classes you were or like being taken.
I
like...
think my favorite English class was 8th grade English. The teacher was the best. He was the most supportive teacher I had. Very kind guy. He still works at the school. He's getting old though. Hopefully he retires soon. But he was the only teacher who I see has really helped me. I do have a learning disability, and from that I do learn a lot slower than others, and he slowed down the class, made everything easy for me.
Oh, that's pretty nice actually. Yeah.
Well,
all it takes is kindness.
Well, it's because sometimes you get a teacher, and then sometimes you get a teacher, but a teacher with feelings, so they understand a little bit better. Like maybe they struggled in school, so they're like, well, I want to make a difference, and if any of my kids are struggling in school, you know, I want them to actually be safe and tell me about it. So like it's all different experiences, you know. Depending on the type of teacher you get is depending on how they were when they were growing up. Because I've had some really amazing teachers, but I've had some really bad stuck-up ones.
So I'm just being super curious about like in particular here in Louisville, like how do you guys usually get a job, or like how do you guys like decide your some things, careers, or some things like what you have to be doing like after graduation, you know what I mean? So like right after graduating from high school.
There's like 3 things you can do, and it's you can take a gap year and like travel, or
do teacher here like help you like pursue
well,
career?
we have a specific class for that.
I didn't take that class. I knew at the end of my junior year exactly what I wanted to do, and I applied for that college as soon as I could. And we have a counselor that also helps us. Some of our teachers help.
To improve your ability, right? Yeah. That makes sense.
You can either take a gap year, apply for college, 2 years, 4 years, it doesn't matter. Just apply for college, and then at the end of the summer, you know, like move and go there. Or you can just decide to work right out of the gate. High school. Like maybe you're not ready for such a responsibility yet, and you want to maybe do littler things, like I don't know, ask your uncle if he needs wood moved or something and get a little bit of money that way. It's all just about, again, it's like your perspective. So it's basically like how you grew up and what you feel like you decide. Because, so especially in the United States nowadays, a lot of parents don't really care as much. I say that lightly, but they're not as like strict as they used to be. My parents weren't really strict and didn't really care if I went to school or not because it wasn't something that was important to them. So kind of when you grow up in a world like that, you kind of start to think the same way. Which, as in Japan, parents are probably a lot more
strict on
like
going to
controlling
school.
themselves.
and they want you to go to school and they want you to do better for yourself.
It's called like some parents are like called like helicopter parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like overseeing make sure to, you know, like their child has the, you know, right things to do.
Everything's done on time.
Everything's done on time. And
It's just our parents are more like busy doing other things than focusing on.
do your parents like care about your future? Seriously?
I
you
would
think?
say they do care,
They just want you to do what
but
you think
they want
makes you
me
happy.
they want me to figure that out on my own. They're not like the pushing type. They haven't really been very strict or anything like that. Like I did get in trouble a lot when I was younger and I was always grounded. But it was for a silly thing. It was just like arguing with my stepmom. But just like typical teenage stuff. Like arguing with your parents.
Would you say it's a typical things?
Yeah, so definitely, I'm sure everyone knows that.
I know it doesn't apply to everybody, but
Yeah, that
for
most
certain people does
U.S.
that.
children don't care themselves. So they don't care about arguing with their parents or trying to fight about being right.
Yeah.
Like that.
I was too scared of my parents to not do
Dude,
what
I
I
would
was
straight
supposed
up
to
tell
do.
my dad, to be like, pull up, let's go, come on.
Yeah,
I
but
wanna
you were
go
born
home.
into some artistic pursuit, right?
Yeah.
Is that not something you had to develop, right? Like it's just born into one.
Yeah, I've always been an artistic kid,
Yeah,
so I ended up following in those footsteps.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that'll be hugely helpful for Japanese like English learners who are interested in like English studies and everything. Right. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe and
Subscribe.
yeah.
Like,
Bye bye.
Bye.